Good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. You are welcome to today's episode where we are going to look at, developments within our political space. Considering the fact that this is Talk TV Africa, a platform, where we digest and feast on development, and of course, to those who are listening to us anywhere they are, Nigeria, anywhere you are and abroad. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here, and our first topic today, because we are going to engage you tomorrow too, where we take our normal newspaper review and analysis. But before that time, let me give you an insight, on what is happening currently now. The national chairman of All Progressive Congress, talking about Ganduje, the former governor of Kano State, is in currently soup, and the president himself, who sees him as a very close ally, is battling to retain him in that position as the chairman of All Progressive Congress. The reason is that he has been indicted, has been involved. It's become very clearly that he was a man that has got that tag, Gandola. The case is still on, and he has brought a lot of, discrepancies, disagreement. There's so much tension now in Abuja, and Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is considering relieving him of that position politically, and maybe send him to Gabon as a Nigerian ambassador, also maybe some other country. But I think to an extent, the president needs to start a sanitization, campaign, to make sure that, he opens a space where he can start receiving, fresh air, fresh hands, fresh ideas, in his government. As I'm talking to you, the Nigeria's state of affairs, is in serious shambles, because nothing is working for now, and I think it is becoming a very big embarrassment to the president himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. On Talk TV today, apart from the Ganduje issue, I think there is a pressure already, and I don't think he's going to actually escape the hammer, the axe that is trailing him behind. Now, that any moment from now, we are going to hear another story concerning the national leadership of the APC. He might not be the man again, to continue to drive the national office of All Progressive Congress anyway. But away from that too, it is not too good news for and protesters of bad government. We are hearing that over 1,500 or thereabout protesters, has been sent to, to the prison, courtesy of, nobody was there to represent them, across board, no lawyer, nothing, nobody coordinated anything, and these people was there for millions of Nigerians, who felt that they cannot continue to be dealt with government policies, and they went to the street to protest, and the people, we are not saying, some of the conveners has been published, and those who claimed, they are on it, this protest was believed was actually, driven by hunger, driven by the quest to get the government to understand the damage, the government has done in terms of, anti-people policies. That is where we are today, So whether and the likes, Deji and the likes of them, Yusuf, them, wherever they are, those who believe on the issue, even though they protest. For me, the protest did not, give us any result at the end of the day. We've not seen anything to take home with, and I think to an extent, it has successfully made Nigerians look as if they are mediocres. I think we should see someone like Sowore making it very clearly that those protesters should be released with immediate effect. And nobody could have provided them with, advocates, lawyers, people who would have gone there to stand for them, and this is quite discouraging, because what government is all about, what government represent at the end of the day. So we expect the likes of Sowore, them, and some Deji, and all of them, to come up and issue a press statement. They should release. Everybody knows there is hunger in the land. Why are these people being arrested? Up to the number of over close to 1,500 protesters are being sent, as if they don't know that Nigeria is facing a serious crisis that has to do with hunger. Hunger is something that has crippled so many nations, that has put so many nations to a point where their democratic values are completely eroded or threatened at the end of the day. So Nigeria should not take it lightly. I expected by now people should start speaking of, calling whoever that's in charge to look into that matter and make sure that they are being released with immediate effect. There are civil society organizations that would have handled that. Nobody, even the government acknowledge, the present APC government acknowledge that something is wrong somewhere. Nigeria is going through a hellish economic attack on the people, and we are beginning to see it very clearly. And also there has been a certain man called Hadija, Bashir Hadija, who has been linked. It's crisis, fraud, corruption everywhere. That was arrested. I don't know how true that is. And there's another man too that has been linked with running a proxy crude oil racket on behalf of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself, and that matter has not been settled. Mass everywhere is just thinking within the corridors of power because of extreme corruption. I must tell you that, but the one Bashir Hadija has been arrested, and from what we gathered, he was close to somebody like Nihuru Badu. He was also close to somebody, the Minister of Defense, Matawale. A lot of things. Another one too, we are seeing another one, how they are able to, move out our crude oil from Nigeria, take it to their refineries all over the world, refine it, bring it, and put the subsidy, looting, continual, no accountability, no transparency, nothing. Only them, only them, only them, only them, and their families and their cronies. This is Nigeria, and Nigeria has a factor, and that factor, if you don't know how to play it, it will play you. And that factor is nothing but, deep, deep well of corruption. Sanitization, a lot of people failed, but nobody had been able to achieve that. Emiloko, who said he's done to do something, maybe, to transform Nigeria, I think that should have been the philosophy or the theory surrounding, how will I put it, Emiloko, say, yeah, it's my turn, I'm going to do things differently. But unfortunately, it has become a serious threat to so many Nigerians. So away from that too, we are looking at the issue that also cropped up, bordering on that, to where France, Chinese government, and the Nigerian government was involved in, will I say, dirty deal? Is that a dirty deal? I don't know, but quite embarrassing international mess. Nigeria, a court in France, confiscated national assets known as the presidential jet in France, because there was a subnational that the federal government, I don't want to go into all those subnational things and all that, but no matter how you look at it, Nigerian factor is there. And what is the Nigerian factor? Corruption. Corruption. To the extent that Ibukunle, former governor, ex-governor of Ogun State, was also fingered in that, even though he was trying to state his own side of the story, trying to accuse the Chinese government, of not fulfilling, or company of not fulfilling their own part of that agreement. But no matter how you look at it, you understand, quite embarrassing. The presidency, all of them were involved in that mess. So that is where we are today. And also within the week too, we saw the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, the foreign affairs minister here, after a trade meeting that was not even a bilateral meeting or a political meeting or just a kind of conference that's related to leadership. They all went there to talk about transactions, deals, trade, stars. Like all of a sudden, he prognosed misguided statement on Simon Ekpa. Whether he was financially pacified. I don't know. In Nigeria, Nigerians say they fear Nigeria. They tell you so. The Nigerians, they fear Nigeria. Nigeria itself, they fear Nigerians. That is how bad it has become. There's no longer freedom of speech, massive nepotism, extreme corruption, intimidation, marginalization. And they came out to defend it. No, it's right. I've never seen this kind of thing before, but it's real in this part of the world. And Nigerians has been experiencing it until they rise to ask questions, to defend civility. We will not be able to move from where we are now to the next level. Remember the Commonwealth Secretary General, former Commonwealth Secretary General, Emeka Anyoko led patriots. They call themselves patriots. Yes, they are patriotic citizens. Those who said, no, this is not going to be, who went and visited the Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja and was able to still champion what is already on ground. What is it that is already on ground? You know what is already on ground? Return Nigeria to regionalism. That's the game. Kudos was celebrated by some eminent Nigerians for that bold step and taken by Emeka Anyoko and the rest of them. So that is the extent we can brief you on the latest, takeaway of the week. By tomorrow on Talk TV Africa, we hope, definitely to run a bit of this on our normal newspaper review platform. Thank you for watching. This is Talk TV Africa.